Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an Airbus A330 pilot and welcome to our Chicago late night service. Today we're flying the Lufthansa flight 432, which is operated by the A340-300, departing just about around sunset, and then we are chasing the sun with the hope of seeing a couple of northern lights as well on our way to Chicago. Now, before we get into this, a quick word from today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you're looking for an ATC add-on that is not just capable of your standard IFR A to B flights, but also other things like VFR, data link, and even a cabin crew simulation, then Say Intentions may just about be for you. We will be using them for all of those things, except maybe the VFR part today, so if you like what you see in today's video, be sure to check them out using the link in the pinned comment or the video description below. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into this. Now we are doing what Lufthansa crews would be doing in the real world here, and that is boarding through the door 4 left. That means we'll have to walk all the way up to the front of the aircraft, and while we do that, let's just take a moment here to appreciate how lovely the sounds are inside of the cabin. I really think indie builds have done a great job adding those in post-release updates, and I am really convinced, and I don't just say that because I got a free copy, no. I say that because I am really convinced that they are doing an awesome job with this airplane. The cabin just looks absolutely fantastic, exactly like the aircraft that I'm used to at work. Alright then, so let's go ahead and take a quick look into what we are going to do today. As I've mentioned, this is a late evening departure, so luckily, all the important stuff like the catering is done already, and one thing I like so much about this being an evening departure is the simple fact that most of our passengers will want to sleep, and therefore once dinner time is over, we are very likely to have the rest of the food for us. Alright, but for now let's take a seat in the captain's seat of our Airbus A340 and start with a little bit of work. The airplane has been handed over by engineering and has no known technical defects today. Well then, no idea why that APU bleed button is on, by the way, using the standard powered on GPU panel state today. Now let's go ahead and start. The engine masters are off, start selector, norm, weather radar off, landing gear down, wipers are off. Aircraft is powered, so we don't need to check the voltage down here. Then let's go ahead and turn on the ADS 1, 2, and 3. APU fire test is good, and well, I suppose we are just going to start the APU straight away so that we get some air conditioning going. So, here we go. Then let's take a moment to have a look into the electronic flight bag. Starting on the My Flight screen over here, let's import our flight data from SimBrief and view the flight plan. So this is what today's flight looks like. Departing Frankfurt, heading across Amsterdam out to the North Sea, scratching the north of Scotland, just south of Iceland, across Greenland and into Canada, and then over the Great Lakes towards Chicago. Significant weather chart has this huge complete area covered here. I don't even know which number that is, but it's gotta be something like this here. Well, there is weather. Low-level stuff. That number 1 I think is only that area over here, so that is actually fine. Alright then, so looking into the second page, our crossing is going to be more or less fine. Here we can also finally see what that huge area is, and that's moderate icing below level 240, so no problem for us at all. Now, crossing across the north of all of that weather over here, and then finally heading into Chicago, it's all fine. So basically it should be a very smooth flight as soon as we are maybe past this first jet stream on the Dutch border over there. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the airport weather. And here we go. So Frankfurt, variable winds, cavalcade 7 degrees, dew point 7. So the forecast tells it already. We are looking at some fog coming in overnight. Chicago on the other end side is a little bit better here. And if we look into the forecast, we're arriving at 0200. So that's probably light showers of rain, broken clouds, westerly winds, so probably runway 27 or runway 28 active over there. Our alternate in Milwaukee, well, it's okay as well. Tomorrow they're gonna have some thunderstorms, not going to affect us today, and all the rest over here is looking fantastic. Okay, so let's move up to the top. An on-time departure is 16:25. Will lead us to an arrival about 20 minutes ahead of schedule. That's not critical with any weights. Flight level 340, 360 later, and then 380 towards the end of the flight. Now, with all of that in mind, let's have a look into the flight plan. So we can already see that we have less than the CF hour on arrival. So even though there are no threats on arrival, I do want to have that. So let's see, 62.1 plus 600. If we round that up to 63 tons, we should be absolutely good to go. So let's go ahead, import all from SimBrief, then we go down to fueling. We are going to round that up to 63 tons, like that, and then we can do an instant load, over to the GSX options and request boarding please. Well, and with that now in progress, let's go ahead and start a bit of work again. So the APU is running, then we can turn that on to get some air conditioning going, and then back down into the flight plan. Frankfurt, departures, search, and we are going to go for the APC East as well as the AGC, and then let's find our departure chart. So that should be the RMP sits runway 25 center. I think that's that chart over here. Yeah, it is. Perfect. Okay, then we can pin this as well, and RMP sits 25 center. Let's find the procedural description as well. Down here. Cool. Now, let's go into the takeoff performance. Frankfurt, runway 25 center. Synchronize the weather, and for the weight, I suppose that I better check this before putting something in. 225.7, so let's calculate 226. Flaps 2, air conditioning off, calculate, and that's all looking good. Fantastic. Alright, then the EFB stuff is done. Let's go ahead and accept our plane for service. So recall, 1, 2, 3, and there is nothing in here. So the aircraft technical status is good. We've got nothing in the logbook either. So for our... had to do this. Okay, so for our operational status then, oxygen pressure is good, hydraulic quantities are good, engine oil quantity is good. Okay, flaps are up, that agrees with the lever, parking brake released, and then let's quickly take away the chocks over here because of that known issue. So remove chocks, thank you, and alternate brake check is looking fantastic. Parking brake set and chocks back in position, and if you're on it already, let's go down to the wheel page. Wheels are completely cold, beautiful, so that the parking brake can stay set. Alright, so A340 300 CFM 56, NAVDB is up to date. Then let's go down into the init page and do our init request. And here we go, Frankfurt, Chicago, Milwaukee, Lufthansa 432. Perfect. And that's what it's printed as well. Nice. Okay, cool. So let's get going with the cockpit preparation procedure then. Now you guys have seen that done a lot of times already, so I'm not going to talk about everything I'm doing here. Okay, and the right hand side is set. We're just two pilots here. So, for the weather, let's see, QNH is 1015. Like that, it's the 31st October 25. We can remove that status page down here, and the right hand side is checked. Now, frequencies 122035 is going to be delivery, and 121805 is going to be ground, and then we need 1 to 1.5. like that. Alright, so VHF 1, but don't blow my ears away, man. That was a little bit too loud. That looks better. And just to be sure, the speaker is at a decent volume as well. Cool. Down here, weather radar +5, weather and turbulence. All the rest is set. This side is set. And this side, you're not gonna talk on VHF 2. This is looking better. Okay, cool. So that's everything done on the right-hand side. And now, let's go to the SimBrief dispatch, get our flight plan, and start doing something. So, as always, I'm using my WinWing MCDU for the entries over here. So first things first, clear all the scratchpad messages. Now, flight plan, Frankfurt, departure, runway 25 center, Oboka 3 Whiskey departure, which we've got down here, insert, and then for the arrivals into Chicago, and we've got lots of them over there. 28 center is the currently planned runway. We'll see if that's going to still be the runway tomorrow, but I think so. So, wind to arrival from Sierra Sierra Mike, like that. Alright, insert. Now, for our emergencies, let's add Frankfurt X5 to the database, and that's going to be based on Frankfurt 25 center /246 /25 miles, PBD, and store. So, secondary, Frax 5, insert, and then we can enter holding down there as well, with a mile lag time, and immediate return back to Frankfurt with an ILS approach, X-ray, runway 25 center. Alright, cool. So all that good stuff is in here. Now let's enter the same thing for our fix pages. Like that. Cool. Now that we are still on the flight plan, let's go ahead and insert our step altitudes. And we got level 360 at Dev B. Which is this one, and then 380 at 64 north. And what is that? 050 west /380. Anything else? No? Okay, easy. So then, init, page 2. Zero fuel weight, 162.8. I think it was 63 tons. Yeah, it is. That goes in here, and now 1.7 tons contingency, 2.5 to the alternate, and 2.5 final. Okay, now let's do the wind data request. Like that, and then we move on to the takeoff page. That's flaps 2 takeoff at 55 degrees. And the speeds 148, 153, 158. Alright, so last derated climb number 2, and finally Frankfurt 25 center. Like this. Perfect. Then let's actually go ahead and do our clearance request next. So, departure request. Aircraft is an A340-300 from Frankfurt to Chicago. Like that, our gate is Alpha 69. 8 is code Bravo, and the station will be Frankfurt. Can't enter anything in the free text field yet, but that's fine. So let's see, request pre-departure clearance Lufthansa 432 A340-300 to Chicago at Frankfurt stand Alpha 69, 8 is Bravo. Sent. And sent. Okay then, thank you. That's everything we had to do for the time being. Well, almost at least. Let's go down and check that our departure is actually correct. So, we fly via Delta Fox 999 above 800, maximum 200 knots. To Delta Fox 998 above 1340, max 200. Then we got Delta Fox 996 above 1930, max 200. Delta Fox 172, 2670, max 230. On towards PAPV, max 230. Then Sifto, Kupip, Marsia, Rafki, Ditam, and Oboka. Alright, that's all checked. So, clearance request received. If no clearance, try again in 2 minutes. Thank you, close. And... nope, that is not our flight. Did I not load the current flight yet? Well, let's try that one more time. New flight, and well, this is gonna get an unable, of course. Because that's a clearance for another aircraft. Okay, so let's just try that one more time. I had loaded an old flight in... in the Same Tensions app. Okay, so this is actually looking better, so let's send that. And you can disregard this recall mode, that's an annoying bug at the moment. Alright, so, waiting for the clearance then. Something we can do already is to dim those displays, because they are pretty bright by default. Okay, revert to voice. And here's actually the second one, if no clearance in 2 minutes. We'll see if that clearance is going to be there, or if we really need to revert to voice. I want to give it one chance. Alright, and a couple of things that we can set up here to make things look good later on. Okay, lovely. So with all of that out of the way, let's see about our boarding status. 254 out of 270. That is not too bad. Well then, let's already go ahead and say hello to our passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Lufthansa I would like to welcome you all on board our Airbus A340-300 on our flight to Chicago. Today's flight time will be about 9 hours, expecting a mostly smooth flight. Now, for the time being, make yourself comfortable, sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Thank you very much for your attention, and again, welcome aboard. Liebe Fluggäste, einen schönen guten Abend aus dem Cockpit, hier spricht Ihr Kapitän. Mein Name ist Emmanuel, im Namen der Lufthansa darf ich Sie herzlich an Bord unseres A340-300 auf unserem Flug nach Chicago willkommen heißen. Die Flugzeit heute etwa 9 Stunden, wir erwarten einen weitestgehend ruhigen Flug. Wir bedanken uns herzlich, dass Sie unsere Gäste sind, lehnen Sie sich zurück und genießen den Flug mit uns und wir melden dann im Anflug noch einmal die neuesten Wetterbedingungen. Vielen Dank und herzlich willkommen an Bord. Alright, and here is our clearance, and that's looking a lot better, isn't it? So, expect runway 25 center, cleared to Chicago, Oboka 3 Whiskey is confirmed, maintain 7000. Is set, departure 18505, squawk 5214. Alright, Wilco, send. Good. So here's actually something that I do want to try. But it's not working, okay. Alright, good. So everything is done down here. Then we may already disconnect the external power units. So ground equipment, remove chocks, remove GPU. After all, the parking brake is set. And then we are now ready to close the flight deck door. Like that. Company message. I do think that's again that bug, so let's go down here, message record, and just open something. Oh, still there. But that's the full message record. Okay, I tell you what, erase. And now it's gone. Not exactly what you're supposed to do. Actually, definitely not what you're supposed to do. But yeah, sometimes you just gotta help yourself. So with that, we've already erased the message record. Our connection status shows ADSC, well, should be armed, not connected. What happens if we set this off? Okay. Not exactly implemented fully, but hey, I'm not gonna complain about that for now. Alright then, are you ready for the briefing? So we're departing Frankfurt today, runway 25 center, Boca 3 Whiskey, initial climb level 70, MSA 4300, and extra fuel and time. Let's see what the FMS says. This says minus 800, but okay, it's reset the reserves. I think that was 1.7. So there's a couple minutes down there, and that's fine. Thank you very much for that. Now we are going to depart from runway 25 center. Hotspots for taxi out, anything that has wheels. Stop margin for an RTO, just a few meters, and the engine outset is straight at 25 miles. Climbing to 5,000 feet, MSA 4,300. We're above the maximum landing weight, so if we need to come back, then we are going to do that with the overweight landing procedure, time permitting, and basically only if the airplane is on fire, then I am willing to return with a traffic pattern. Apart from that, nothing special, nothing non-standard. Do you see any threats? Me neither. So that's a briefing completed. So, cockpit preparation checklist, please. Gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 62,920 kilogram balanced. Seatbelts on. ADRs. nav and bow ref QNH 1015. Cockpit preparation checklist complete, and then we can quickly have a look into the NAT HLA guideline as well. For that, we haven't actually cross-checked the waypoints yet, so let's just quickly go ahead and do that now. So, join the NAT at Ratsu, then we have 62 north, 20 west, and the coordinates check. Then we continue via 63 north and 30 west, coordinates checked. 64 north, 40 west, checked. 64 north, 50 west, also checked. And then later we've got one more waypoint, that's 60 north, 71 west, and that is checked. Then we have got 55 north, 78 west, also checked, and 50 north, 82 west is also checked. Beautiful. So with all those waypoints checked, let's go ahead with the NAT HLA guideline, and that is aircraft acceptance. ETOPS pre-departure service check is checked, RBSM equipment checked, clock in GPS mode checked, HF checked, message log erased, ADSC armed, ATC auto position reports off, IRS full alignment performed, ground speed 0, NAT HLA waypoints on OFP versus primary flight plan cross-checked, and wind data entered, NAT HLA guideline complete. So by now I would hope that our boarding is definitely completed, and looking down here it absolutely is. So prepare for pushback and departure. Doors are closing and armed, and then on the fuel and payload page, let's see, fuel 62,900, so we are just going to re-enter that like this, instant load, and then let's go ahead. 162.8, 27.3. So 162.8 is already in there, 27.3, that's 225.2 and 28.7. And that looks accurate. So that means 226 is fine, and that's a trim of 4.5 unit up. Like this. And then we are done. Alright, cool. Ground from cockpit. So, please confirm all ground checks are completed, doors and hatches closed, bypass pin is installed, and the ground equipment is removed. That's all confirmed. Okay, thanks. Then we're calling for pushback.
2 Victor X-ray, cleared for push and start.
Frankfurt ground, Lufthansa 432 heavy, request pushback and startup.
Lufthansa 432, pushback and startup approved. Face southwest.
Pushback and startup approved, facing west, Lufthansa 432 heavy. Okay, ground flight, pushback approved, facing west, parking brake set.
Lufthansa 2 Victor X-ray.
Roger, please release the brake, and that's going to be area 7. Okay, parking brake released, you can start the push, and then we can do the before start checklist, please. So, parking brake released, takeoff speeds and thrust, V1 148, VR 153, V2 158, flex 55. Windows closed, and the bacon is tasty. Before start checklist complete. Okay, so ground will be starting in sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're ready to start with 1 and 2 as soon as you are.
Cabin attendants, arm doors and cross-check.
Engine 1 start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Lufthansa.
Ground Condor 2 November X-ray, taxi to the ramp. Condor 2 November X-ray, taxi to parking via Mike 17, Mike Tango in blue. Mike 17, Mike Tango in blue.
So 10%, engine 2 start.
Now, let's go through some important safety
What's this gentleman doing there? Definitely not supposed to be like that.
Pull the mask towards you.
So, good start number 1.
Mouth and breathe normally. Be sure to secure your own mask.
Number 2 is also coming to life.
Life vests are located under your seat or between seats. To put it on, pull it over your head, fasten it, and inflate it after leaving the aircraft.
We've got 2 good starts, starting engines number 3 and 4.
Floor level light
Clear 3,
will
4.
guide you to the nearest exit.
Engine 3 start.
Please note that the nearest exit may be behind you. In the event of an evacuation, leave all belongings behind and follow crew instructions immediately. For your safety,
So, number 3 is coming to life.
demonstrated if instructed, and remember to follow crew instructions.
Engine 4 start.
Lastly, the safety information card in your seat pocket.
And
contains
pushback
all
completed, set brakes.
Thank you for your attention.
Parking brake set.
Pleasant flight.
So, 3 and 4 are starting. One thing that surprises me is that I can't really turn the floodlight on yet. But I suppose that's gonna come. Keep the switch somewhere in the middle position, and I guess once the sun is a little bit further down, we will be able to see those. Okay, so good start on number 3, waiting for number 4. And there comes the tuck. And there is the tow bar. Okay, ground. 4 good starts. Please prepare the airplane for taxi. See you on the right hand side. Have a good day. Bye bye. So 4.5. Like that, and that should be 28.7%, which is roughly correct. Okay, so clear signal. Well, there she is, holding the pin. That's good enough for me. After start checklist, anti-ice, off, ecom status, checked, pitch trim, 28.7% set, rudder trim, neutral, after start checklist complete. Lufthansa 432 Heavy, request taxi.
Lufthansa 432, runway 25 center, taxi, via November 8, link 5, November 7, November 4, Lima 1.
Lufthansa 432 Heavy, taxi to runway 25 center via November 8, link 5, November 7, November 4, Lima 1. So we start off to the left, and then we've got the lights on, right side is clear, left side is clear, park and brake off, let's go. Brake check, pressure 0. Okay, clear left side, and that's link 5 onto November 7 on the left hand side over there. Everything is clear on the left.
Flying Bulgaria 438, contact tower on 136.5. Switching to tower, flying Bulgaria 438.
Okay, right side clear, left side clear.
Ocean 2 Bravo, taxi to parking via Mike 17, Mike 8, hold short of runway 25 center, then Lima 5, November 3, in blue. Mike 17, Mike 8, hold short of runway 25 center, then Lima 5, November 3, and blue, Ocean 2 Bravo.
Flight control check.
Alitalia 407, contact tower on 136.5.
Full down, neutral.
Tower, Alitalia 407.
Full left. Full right. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. And neutral. Okay then. No changes to the briefing. Why is predictive when chisel still off? There we go, that's better. So we continue taxi via November 4. That is basically over here behind that. What is that even? A321, I think. Alrighty, taxi checklist please. Flight controls, checked. Flag setting, config 2. Radar and predictive wind shear, on and auto. Engine start selector, norm, ecom memo, takeoff, no blue. Taxi checklist, complete. So, next taxiway to the right. In between the buildings over here. Interesting, those airplane lights are really not working here. Well, we'll deal with that once we're en route. The backlighting is working, that's the important stuff. So, right side clear, left side clear.
Airfront 53 Charlie Juliet. Pushback approved.
Roger, pushback approved. Airfront 53 Charlie
Okay, so from here it's going to be all the way to the full length runway 25 center.
Condor Niner Romeo Victor. Taxi to parking via Mike 17.
Even though I have a feeling I could
Hold short
know
of runway
which
7 center,
where
then
the
Lima
problem
14,
is.
November 10,
So, you have
November.
control for a moment. Let's just check something.
Mike 24, hold short of runway 7 center, then Lima 14, November 10, November, Condor 9,
Nope,
Romeo
that
Victor.
was not it. Well, interestingly enough, you can see the lights are actually illuminated, so...
ATN 533. Pushback approved.
I don't know, maybe really just a thing with the time of the day. We'll try that again a little bit later. Even though I would definitely say, since we can see all those airport lights here, that there is no reason why we shouldn't be able to see the panel lights. Okay, doesn't matter though, next frequency is going to be 1365, may already pre-select that.
Lufthansa 432. Contact tower on 136.5.
136.5, Lufthansa 432. Frankfurt Tower, Lufthansa 432 Heavy, ready for departure. Departure will be 18505.
Lufthansa 432 Heavy, Frankfurt Tower, runway 25C, hold short, Embraer 190 on the runway.
Holding short, runway 25 center, Lufthansa 432 Heavy.
Lufthansa 432 Heavy, Frankfurt Tower, runway 25C, wind 040 at 3, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 25 center, cleared for takeoff, Lufthansa 432 Heavy. Okay, you ready?
Approaching.
Man, this looks fantastic.
Center.
This really looks fantastic here. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Lineup checklist. Takeoff runway 25 center, Lima 1. TCAS, Tara, PAX 1 and 2, off. Lineup checklist complete. Are you ready for a rolling takeoff?
Roger.
On runway 25 center.
So train on your side please and take off. Man flex 55, SRS, runway auto thrust blue. Thrust set. Man, this really looks amazing, doesn't it?
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. Nav. Check. 118.505, Lufthansa 432. Thrust decline 2, climb auto thrust. Long radar, Lufthansa 432 heavy, passing 1,700, climbing 7,000. Flaps 1. Speed checked.
Lufthansa 432 heavy, Frankfurt departure identified, climb flight level 070.
Climb level 70, Lufthansa 432 heavy. Autopilot 1. So we'll have to keep the flaps out for the time being. That's fine. Lufthansa 432, climbing flight level 200.
Radar contact.
Set. 20,000 blue.
Alitalia 407, contact Langenrade on 127.625.
Flap 0. Speed checked. Flap 0.
127.625, the Alitalia 407.
So that'll be 10 knots faster than the speed restriction, but honestly that's on 1.8 miles. I don't really worry about that right now. Flaps are up, acceleration flow pattern. Flaps up, spoil is retracted, landing gear up, and packs on. Acceleration flow pattern complete.
Lufthansa 3 Foxtrot Whiskey, direct. Charlie, cleared for the RNAV Zulu runway 25.
That's interesting. Really looks like the dome light is just broken. And look at the standby here as well. That stuff used to work fine in the past.
5 left approach Lufthansa 3 Foxtrot Whiskey.
I mean, the intake lights do. Floodlights seem broken.
Charlie Juliet 2000 for 4,000.
Air France 53 Charlie Juliet radar contact. Climb and maintain 7,000.
Console lights broken. Map lights seem broken. Interesting. This has started only after I installed the latest beta update from the Sim Update 4 beta, which added the version that had this strange field down there. So let's have standard. Standard cross check, passing level 5-3 now. So yeah, I suppose then we'll just have to fly this way. Honestly, there are many pilots out there who would prefer the flight deck to be this dark anyway. In fact, I usually don't like doing that because, you know, it introduces a very, very dark screen for many of you, but personally don't really have a problem doing that. So let's ask the important question. Are we on time?
Lufthansa 2 Victor X-ray, radar contact.
0145. Schedule is 20 minutes later. Love it. 6.9 tons, and that is 25 minutes extra. Beautiful. Flight level 340 is optimum, and, well, that's really all we can do down there for the time being. Might as well start adding the ETOPS points already. So, entry point number 1. That's going to be 6355.9 and 3858.7.
Lufthansa 2 Victor X-ray, contact Frankfurt departure on 118.50.
Saw that. Then we got the first ETP at 64049. And 4353. Then we have the ETP number 2
Climb and maintain
55.19.2 and 77.37.2.
Condor 5 X-ray uniform contact Frankfurt Tower on 136.5.
And one more, which is the exit point. And that's going to be 50.42.5 and 81.29.5.
Direct Charlie. Cleared for the ILS runway 25 left approach. Descend and maintain altitude 5,000.
Good, that's all the points in. After reaching and passing 10,000, so lights, signs, and EFIS.
Lufthansa 1 uniform. Direct Wave 2. Cleared for the ILS runway 25.
Hello there, I hope that I didn't interrupt your sleep here. After all, it's 1:25 in the morning, and that is UTC. But ATC has just taken us on a vector heading 200, descending 1000 for vectors for the ILS approach to runway 28 center in Chicago. Let's go ahead and do a couple items here. We've just passed 18,000 as well. Altimeter is 2994, lights are on. Welcome to the US. After all, they are allowed to fly VFR here at this altitude and even time of the day. So we want to be sure to increase our visibility to other aircraft. Now, I do not want to slow down just yet. Let's just maintain those 290 over here. But what I do want to do is extend the center line from Hazel, please. So, expect Mike 17, we'll leave that open for the time being. So Hazel 273, so 093 is the opposite of that. Let's insert that as a radial in, and that looks good. Insert, pull heading. Heading. Good. So we've got about 30 miles to the airport, which means we're probably a little bit high here. The phone tells us, yeah, 4,800 feet.
132, heavy contact Chicago, approach on 133.625.
133.625, Lufthansa for 32 heavy. Chicago approach, Lufthansa 432 heavy, passing 14,200, descending 11,000, heading 200.
Heavy Chicago approach. Good evening, Chicago altimeter 29901. Expect the ILS runway 28 center approach into Chicago. Approach, descend and maintain 5,000, turn right, heading 225.
Altimeter 29901, descend and maintain 5,000, right heading 225, Lufthansa 432 Heavy. And we are expecting the ILS 28 center, Lufthansa 432. Alright, speed brakes coming back out, and then we've got 5,000 blue heading 225. Okay, so let's talk about the approach and what we intend to fly. And now we can go back to managed. So this is going to be radar vector ILS approach runway 28 center. The approach, or rather the MSA is 3,100. The approach has a minimum at 860, and the go around is basically straight ahead to 1,100, heading 215, intercept 262 in North Delta Papa Alpha, climbing 4,000. Okay, and that's all I got about this. Now for the approach itself,
Heavy, proceed direct Hazel, descend and maintain 4,000 until established on the localizer cleared for the ILS runway 28 center approach.
Lufthansa 432 Heavy, direct Hazel, descend and maintain 4,000 until established, cleared ILS 28 center.
American 2041, contact Chicago Tower on
okay, 4,000 blue.
0.
And we're going through 10,000 with a bit of lag. Don't ask me what this is doing here. Here we go. That is better again. So, still tells me 4,000 high on profile. And going through 10,000, let's activate the LS. So the speed brake full. And then through 10 we got lights, signs, EFIS, cheapest primary accuracy, high, start selector, norm. That's looking good.
Cabin crew, please check that everyone is seated and has fastened their seatbelts.
Okay, so, flight director guided ILS approach, runway 28 center. And
American 2398, contact Chicago Tower on 133.0.
well, auto brake low, maximum reverse, vacate the runway to the right hand side. Hotspots for taxiing is going to be the crossing of runway 28 right, and then we'll taxi to the terminal. Small threat here, the taxiway layout in the sim is rather different from the real world taxiway layout, because FS Dream Team, yes, that's the guys behind GSX as well, don't bother to update their airport. But, okay, apart from that, everything should be fine, so I'm not too concerned about the approach. We talked about the specials and non-standards here, and that's really it. No threats? Any questions? No? Alright, and that's everything completed. So we're picking up on the vertical profile, the glide slope is already alive. And one thing we should really be careful about in Chicago is the ILS ident, India Victor Zulu Echo, and according to the ILS chart, come on, that is correct, India Victor Zulu Echo. Alright, I like this. So 1,000 to go, activate approach race. And we're cleared for the approach. Catherine Dual, autopilot 1-2, glide slope localizer blue. Approach checklist please. Bajo ref, QNH 29901, seatbelts on, minimum is Baro 860, speed brake going in. Auto brake, low, engine start selector, norm, approach checklist please.
Heavy, contact Chicago Tower on 128.15.
12815, Lufthansa 432 Heavy.
3674, contact Chicago Tower on 133.0. 133.0.
Chicago Tower, Lufthansa 432 Heavy, established ILS 28 center. Flaps 1, speed check, flaps 1. Speed out star, lock star. Glide slope star. Okay, we'll need a little bit more speed brake. Okay, runways in sight. Go around altitude 4,000 seconds.
Roger, continue approach runway 28 center.
Continue approach Lufthansa 432 Heavy. And And yeah, that speed is not coming back, even with the headwind. Alright, in that case, not much we can do. Get down. You really got to be proactive in reducing your speed on final with the A340, because it is just that hard to slow down.
Runway 28 center cleared to land.
Runway 28 center clear to land. Lufthansa 432 heavy. Alright, flaps 2. Speed checked. Flaps 2. Manual flight. Flaps 3. Speed check, flaps 3.
American 239 across runway 4 left. American 239er.
Look at all the lights of the city. That's beautiful, isn't it? Landing checklist, ECA memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. The night lights in Sim Update 4 are just looking so fantastic. Really joy flying this, isn't it?
1000.
Checked. So the wind is shifting slightly to the right.
Approaching 28 center.
Checked. Alright, we're clear to land. The landing gear is down. That's all I need to know. Land.
100 above, 300.
Checked.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. American 239er 8, hold short of runway 28 right.
Spotters, reverse green, decel.
Holding short of runway 28 right, American 239er 8.
70 knots, manual brakes. Okay, and with that, welcome to Chicago. Eight hours 54. Yeah, this is one of those places where it would be nice if they told us who had to go.
Contact ground on 124.125.
Full short to a right and 124.125 Lufthansa 432. Bye bye.
American 149er, hold short of runway 27 left.
Chicago is famous for its deep dish pizza, so I short.
Chicago ground, Lufthansa 432 Heavy, request taxi to the gate. After landing checklist, radar and predictive wind shear off, after landing checklist complete.
Heavy taxi, Terminal 5 gate M17 via Papa, Golf Golf, Victor 3. Have a good day.
Taxi Mike 17 via Papa, Golf Golf, Victor 3, Lufthansa 432 Heavy.
M14149 runway 10 center taxi via Alpha Zulu. Runway 10 center taxi via
So, give me a taxi chart, please. Then we're going via Papa, Golf Golf, Victor 3, and that's Terminal 5. Okay. That's on APC number 2. So straight ahead for a little while, and then crossing the runway in Golf Golf. Mike 17 is over here. Okay.
Roger, pushback approved. SkyWest 4945.
M.Boy 3950 ready to taxi.
So crossing Papa 5 now.
M.Boy 3950, runway 9.
And I will use Echo Echo as a little warning there that Golf Golf is approaching.
Runway 9 center taxi via Alpha Tango Hotel Zulu. Hold short of runway 9 right, that's Zulu, M.Boy 3950. M.Boy 151, runway 9 center taxi via Alpha Tango Hotel Zulu. Hold short of runway 9 right, that's Zulu. Runway 9 center taxi via Alpha Tango.
Okay, apart from Tango, our terminal is over there, so we still have a little while to taxi here. So might as well just speed this up a little bit, and then I see you when we're approaching the gate. Alright, and here is our gate. Now this is the Alpha line, this is the center line. They did not tell us to go into Alpha, so we will take the center line. And look at that, it's an FS Dream Team airport. We got FS Dream Team's GSX. And there is no kind of service visible. Well, then we will do self-parking here. We're just gonna be like somewhere over here, that's fine. Okay. So, parking brake is set, APU is almost available. So, shutdown 2 and 3 already. And here we go, APU avail. Waiting for APU bleed to replace APU avail. Here we go. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Alrighty. So, trucks in place, please. Doors are disarmed. Parking checklist. Parking brake our trucks. All brakes are in, or rather trucks are in, so brakes are off. Engines off, fuel pumps off, parking checklist complete. And with that, welcome to Chicago. Hope you guys enjoyed the flight. I surely did, even though we had this cockpit light bug. After all, it could look fine as well, couldn't it? Now don't ask me why this is not working. We're clearly at Mike 17 over here, but in any case, welcome to Chicago. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video, like, comment and subscribe, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.